Welcome to Concept with Justin. Today's focus is on front yard landscaping, particularly using flower beds and green plantings to enhance the first impression of your home. The front yard is the face of your property, setting the tone for the entire home. With thoughtful design, it can become a beautiful, welcoming space that adds value and curb appeal. Whether your front yard is large or small, sunny or shaded, there are countless ways to turn it into a lush, inviting area. From layering plants to selecting flowers that bloom throughout the seasons, designing a front yard landscape is about balancing aesthetics with function. If you love exploring creative garden ideas and practical tips, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and let's get started on turning your front yard into a blooming green paradise. Every front yard has unique qualities: its size, sunlight patterns, soil type, and even wind exposure. The first step in designing the perfect landscape is to assess these factors and use them as a guide for plant selection and layout. Take note of where the sunlight falls during the day, as this will help determine which areas are suited for sun-loving plants and which are better for shade-tolerant species. Wind exposure, especially in open or elevated front yards, may also influence plant choices, as sturdy shrubs and ground cover can create natural windbreaks for more delicate flowers. Study the soil as well. Front yards often require amendments to improve soil quality, especially if they've been compacted over time. Adding compost and organic matter helps improve drainage and fertility, creating a strong foundation for healthy, vibrant plants. Consider pathways, borders, and natural focal points. The entrance pathway should be clear and welcoming, ideally bordered with plantings that enhance the architecture of the house. Understanding your front yard's natural characteristics will allow you to design with the land, rather than against it. A well-designed front yard has a sense of flow and balance. The arrangement of flower beds, shrubs, and trees should guide the eye naturally from one area to the next, creating a cohesive look. Start by defining the key areas, the entryway, pathway borders, and foundation plantings around the house. Pathway borders are ideal for lower-growing plants like lavender, hostas, or compact boxwoods. Foundation plantings, which are positioned close to the home's walls, provide a visual anchor. These can include medium-sized shrubs and evergreens, with seasonal flowers adding color and texture in front of them. Using plants in clusters rather than single rows helps create a more organic, layered look that softens the lines of the house and integrates the garden with the architecture. In larger front yards, consider creating small garden rooms. These might be defined by low hedges or decorative fences, and each space can have its own theme or purpose, like a seating area or a small butterfly garden. Trees and shrubs form the backbone of the front yard landscape, providing height, structure, and seasonal interest. Trees can frame the house, guide the eye toward the entrance, or provide privacy from the street. For smaller front yards, consider compact, slow-growing trees like Japanese maple, redbud, or serviceberry, which add color without overwhelming the space. In larger yards, trees like dogwood, crabapple, or ornamental pear can add seasonal blooms and attractive branching structures. Evergreens like juniper or arborvitae work well as privacy screens or as anchors on either side of the entrance, offering structure year-round. Shrubs are essential for layering and building depth in flower beds. Use a combination of deciduous shrubs, which lose their leaves in winter, and evergreen shrubs to maintain interest through all seasons. Flowering shrubs like hydrangeas, spireas, or viburnums add color and texture, while evergreens like boxwood and holly provide a constant, structured green backdrop. Mixing textures, such as pairing soft, feathery foliage with bold, glossy leaves, creates visual interest. A well-planned flower bed enhances the front yard's beauty, adding color, fragrance, and texture throughout the year. When selecting plants, think about bloom times and how different colors work together. For a cohesive look, consider sticking to a color palette that complements your home's exterior, such as cool blues and purples for a serene effect, or warm reds and oranges for energy and vibrancy. Layering is key in flower beds, especially in the front yard, where different heights create a more dynamic look. Position taller plants, like delphiniums or sunflowers, toward the back or center, with medium-height plants, such as salvias and daylilies, in the middle. Lower-growing plants like petunias, creeping phlox, or lamb's ear can fill the front edge of the bed, softening the boundary between the garden and pathway. Consider adding plants with varying foliage shapes and textures. Broad-leaved plants like hostas provide contrast with spiky plants like irises or ornamental grasses. This variety of forms enhances the bed's overall texture, making it visually interesting even when few flowers are in bloom. To keep your front yard looking vibrant through every season, choose a mix of plants that bloom at different times of year and include evergreens or plants with winter interest. Spring-blooming bulbs like tulips, daffodils, and crocuses are easy to incorporate and provide an early burst of color. These bulbs can be layered under perennials, allowing them to flower and then disappear as other plants grow. In summer, fill your beds with colorful perennials and annuals like coneflowers, black-eyed Susans, and zinnias. These plants are long-blooming and provide striking color, attracting pollinators and adding life to the garden. For fall, asters, sedums, and mums bring warm, autumnal colors that extend the beauty of the flower beds into the cooler months. In winter, focus on evergreens and plants with interesting bark, like red-twig dogwood or berries like holly. Ornamental grasses, which hold their form through winter, also provide structure and movement, catching frost or snow in the colder months. A mix of seasonal plants ensures that your front yard remains dynamic and appealing all year. Ground covers are invaluable for adding texture and reducing maintenance in the front yard. Low-growing plants like creeping thyme, sedum, or ajuga cover bare patches of soil, suppress weeds, and help retain moisture. They can be used along pathways, in the front of flower beds, or as lawn alternatives in smaller yards. Ground covers are especially useful in sloped or difficult areas where it's challenging to grow taller plants. For shady areas, options like Vinca minor, sweet woodruff, or pachysandra thrive under trees and around shrubs, creating lush green carpets that blend seamlessly with the landscape. By choosing low-maintenance ground covers that suit the sun and soil conditions of your yard, you create a lush, cohesive look without the need for extensive upkeep. Pathways are essential for directing movement and creating a structured flow through the front yard. A well-designed path also enhances the beauty of the landscape by drawing attention to flower beds or focal points. Use materials that complement your home's exterior, such as stone, brick, or gravel, to create a natural connection between the pathway and surrounding garden. Borders along pathways provide opportunities for planting low-growing flowers, ground covers, or even small shrubs. Lavender, lamb's ear, or creeping thyme work well as border plants, creating a soft edge and adding color and fragrance. For a more defined look, consider adding a border made of stone or brick, which provides a clean edge and prevents grass from invading flower beds. Pathways and borders not only keep the yard looking organized, but also invite exploration and bring out the best in the surrounding plants. Vertical elements like trellises, arbors, and pergolas add height to the landscape, drawing the eye upward and creating a sense of space. These structures are perfect for climbing plants like roses, clematis, or honeysuckle, which add color, fragrance, and privacy. In urban or suburban areas where privacy is a concern, consider using taller shrubs or narrow trees along the property line. Arborvitae, bamboo, or columnar junipers provide screening without taking up too much ground space. Vertical plantings make a small front yard feel more expansive by adding layers and depth to the landscape. Landscape lighting not only enhances the beauty of the front yard after sunset, but also adds a layer of security by illuminating pathways and entrances. Solar lights along pathways or in flower beds are easy to install and eco-friendly, while low-voltage LED spotlights can highlight architectural features or trees. For a soft, welcoming glow, consider stringing fairy lights around an arbor or through a small tree, or placing lanterns along the pathway. Lighting adds ambiance, extends the usability of the yard into the evening, and creates a cozy, inviting atmosphere. Personal touches bring character and warmth to the front yard. Garden decor, such as bird baths, statues, or decorative planters, reflects personal style and adds visual interest. Try to choose items that complement the garden's theme and don't overwhelm the plants. A well-placed bench or small seating area can provide a spot to enjoy the view and adds to the welcoming feel of the yard. Adding a small water feature like a fountain or mini pond brings the calming sound of water and attracts birds and pollinators, creating a vibrant ecosystem. Choose decor that weathers well, such as stone, iron, or ceramic, to ensure it integrates naturally with the landscape over time. Caring for the front yard seasonally keeps it looking its best throughout the year. In spring, prepare by clearing winter debris, pruning shrubs, and refreshing mulch. Summer involves regular watering, deadheading flowers, and weeding to keep beds tidy. In fall, plant bulbs for spring, cut back perennials, and add a layer of mulch to protect roots through winter. Winter tasks are minimal, but may include clearing snow from pathways and pruning dormant shrubs. Consistent care ensures that each season brings renewed beauty to the landscape, keeping the front yard inviting and well-kept year-round. Thank you for joining Concept with Justin. Designing a beautiful front yard landscape with flower beds and greenery is a rewarding process that adds value and charm to any home. With thoughtful planning and seasonal care, your front yard can become a vibrant, welcoming space that you're proud to showcase. If you enjoyed these tips and want more landscape design inspiration, make sure to subscribe for future videos. See you next time, and happy gardening!